Elvis fan ever. And I had to go and chap on her window and let her know.
I was 3, so I don't.
Oh, you don't? Well, you know, I remember exactly where I was as well. I mean, I don't always got terrible memory, but that one was like a bolt from the blue. It was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was mucking out horses. That's what I was doing. There you go. Working for a living for a change.
Yeah, well, I was going to say something's never changed in terms of what you're dealing with day to day.
Off you pop.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Stay.
Good morning to you. It is Wednesday the 8th of January. This is Kay Adams with you till 12 on BBC Radio Scotland. More and more adults are seeking an assessment for neurodiversity conditions as waiting lists grow. For William Butchart, his quest began after his young son was diagnosed as autistic.
If this is something I could be, I would want to know for sure. I couldn't leave it to just how I feel. I need somebody to actually assess it.
Well, have you had a neurodiversity diagnosis later in life? Autism, ADHD or another condition? Did it change your life for the better? 08085 92 95 00 is the number to call. Is the right word, but I really appreciated that phone in this morning. Thank you so much for everyone who got in touch with their experiences of neurodivergency, and overwhelmed by pretty long texts that people have sent in, so I apologise for not reading them on air, but we are reading them. I'll just give you this one from Kenneth. Struggled all my life feeling very different, but recently recognised that I have many traits in line with ADHD. Although not officially diagnosed, simply recognising how my brain works has totally changed my life. Understand why my relationships haven't worked or haven't coped with high pressure jobs, struggling with bills, unread emails. Long story, but have basically started life again on a new footing, understanding me and approaching everything from that standpoint. Hope that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Kenneth, thank you very much. 80295. Coming up.
Ellie, it's the bad. We've been shot.
On an island, an enemy is forever.
Oh, forget Scandi Noir. Gaelic Noir is about to hit your screens. And we have another humdrum conundrum for you.
Am I being unreasonable for refusing to take the train with my friend?
You're listening to BBC Radio Scotland. It's Connie McLaughlin.
Chris, play some music, will you?
It's
not to be singing along with that and putting in a few moves? Of course, Karma Chameleon with Culture Club. Our next guests were, I don't know, I think they thought it was a bloomin' disco the way they were carrying on. I can see them on the screens. I didn't know if they were aware of that. Suddenly looking up now thinking, me dancing. So listen, book an appointment next Tuesday, 14th of January, 9 o'clock at night at BBC Alba. A new glossy 4-part crime thriller called Unchilan. I hope I've got that pronunciation right. It translates as The Island. Starts, as I say, next Tuesday. It's set in the Western Isles. It is the most expensive Gaelic drama yet commissioned. And here to tell us more is the show's director, Culture Club fan, Tom Sullivan. Morning, Tom.
Good morning, yes. The Irish contingency in Culture Club was not lost on me. That was intentional.
And Sinead McInnes, who plays one of the series leads, Aileen McLean. Morning, Sinead.
Morning, how are you? That was a perfect pronunciation, by the way.
Oh, was it? Oh gosh,
Perfect.
I'm not going to say it again then, because if I've said it once then and I've got it right, I'm just going to stick with that. Well, you two are clearly in a good old mood, so I presume that's because you have seen your first episode and you're very delighted with it. Is that right, Sinead?
I haven't actually seen it.
You
seeing
haven't?
It tonight.
Oh.
I'm seeing it at the screening tonight in Glasgow for the first time, really, in its entirety. So yeah, I'm excited.
And how is that feeling then?
It's quite nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking, but it's good. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see it. Tom, you've obviously seen it 100,000 times.
Yes. I just hope nobody throws any tomatoes at us. That's all. Yeah. No, I'm really excited. I've seen it millions of times. I mean, in all its different machinations. But it's going to be really interesting it's always interesting to watch something for the first time in front of an audience of people. Because you get to feel the room and whether or not it's landing, it's always nerve-wracking. Yeah.
So what is the significance? I mean, obviously people just want to watch a great thriller. They want to sit down in a winter's night in January and think, oh, this is great, and I'm sure they will. But what is the significance behind having such a high production value drama in Gaelic, Tom?
I think, it's multiple. There's lots of answers to that. I mean, for me, the main one is the investment itself. It's a statement. It's a statement of intent from people like Black Camel, from BBC Alba, from Screen Scotland, from All Tree Media, from all the people who are involved. And it's basically it's a statement that it's getting behind the language and standing up for it. Also, I think it's very important that these things are happening, particularly now, because we live in a world now where there's a lot of soup out there. There's a lot of stuff that just isn't, we're living in a very pasteurized world where everything's amalgamated. But so to champion languages like Gaelic and Irish, my native tongue, I think brings an individuality to an artistic endeavour like this, and I just think it's really important and it's beneficial to everybody involved, and also to the language, of course.
I mean, Sinead, are you a native Gaelic speaker?
So it's kind of complicated, I guess, and it's complicated for lots of us who speak Gaelic as well. So I have native grandparents, and so Gaelic was always around, but I was never fluent. But I went to Gaelic medium school in Edinburgh, and I guess I'll just speak for myself, although I know this is shared with other cast members as well, but you kind of grow up with people saying, what are you bothering with that for? A dead language anyway. But the point is that it's not a dead language, and it's more than a language as well. It's a culture, and it's a people, and you internalize those messages as well. And it's about the survival of the language and the survival of the people, and you need representation and you need investment in art for people to be able to kind of continue to feel like they deserve to be here and deserve to exist and thrive as well.
So did it mean a lot for you then to be involved in and such a kind of glossy production? Glossy is a kind of catch-all word, isn't it? But, this isn't something that's just been thrown together. This is high-value stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, and as Tom said, it's kind of a statement, and it's a statement of intent, and also of saying we value you. So, you know, like you said, BBC Alpa, MG Alpa, Black Camel, everyone. It's just really important to us and to the community that we have those statements from those big people, you know, and say kind of that you're worth the investment. That's a really, really important thing.
If I just quickly want to mention the impact that quality can have on something as well. Like what I've learned, particularly working through Irish and with the resurgence now, or the surgence of film and television in the Irish language at the moment. What it does is it brings the language out to the world, but what it also does is it reflects the language back into the community where it comes from. And what you get then is you get young kids watching their language being explored and being recognized by people all over the world in a cool way. And what that does is it takes that kind of conversation away from, this isn't a cool language, this isn't something that's whatever. And it actually creates, it emboldens the younger people, which is where this language will live or die. And I think that is hugely important. But the most important thing about it is that it's good. And I think that's something that I need to stress, is that Untillon is, I feel, very, very strong, a very, very strong watch, and something, regardless of the language, that's going to really resonate throughout the world when it sells in different territories and obviously at home in Scotland and abroad.
Well, yeah, and obviously to get down to brass tacks, if you're spending a lot of money on a show, you want as many people to watch it as possible, regardless of what their native language is. So this is a show that you want people to watch across the world. So, Tom, tell us what you can about it. I know it's a crime drama, so you're not going to give us any spoilers or anything, but what we're going to see on screen, are we going to see Lewis and Harris looking fantastic, hopefully? And as Sinead says, it's not just a language, it's a culture.
Yeah, so the island... it was one of the big draws for me when Arabella from Black Camel came to me with the project. It's just I'd never been up there, and obviously I would be very familiar with the west of Ireland, which is uncannily similar to where we ended up. But it's got a stunning the country, the landscape up there has a particular type of beauty in that it's not pretty, it's more handsome or beautiful in a kind of a dramatic way, as opposed to pretty in a postcard way.
It's not the Cotswolds.
No, for me that's far more interesting, because it speaks of ghosts and darkness and the past and history and trauma and our TV show has all that.
Oh, I'm in it already.
It also has the glitz and glamour of a very, very affluent family. I kind of. The way I pitch it to myself and to the editors when we're doing it, is like, it's like Succession but with murder. So you've got the characters, you've got these exciting, young, gorgeous, young cast who come back after their mother, after something happens at the home. There's a robbery, and then we begin to unpick their history through their father, who is kind of similar to a Succession kind of vibe, where he's a kind of a very strong patriarch, and we discover how they have dealt with the trauma that occurred to them in the past, and we unpick that. And then there's also a character played by Sorcha Groundswell who comes over. She's police. She comes over to investigate, and we discover that she's from the island, and she also has a history with the family. And this is all unpicked in a kind of a thriller-esque kind of way, throughout the show, and lots of cliffhangers, and not to mention the beauty of the place. And for me, it's something that people will not have seen, and it's a bloody good story, and it's been told very well. Not to blow my own trumpet, but the cast have been incredible. I think minority language is difficult sometimes to cast a minority language, because sometimes the pool isn't as big. But we were lucky enough to come along at a time when we just happened to have some of the best actors in Scotland and England who can actually speak Gaelic as well. So I think we pulled a lucky stroke there.
I'm sold. Sinead, so what part do you play?
So I play the part of the oldest daughter of this patriarch, and so I come back to the house with my 3 other siblings after this event has happened, and I've been living in Paris for a long time, and so I kind of think that I'm above it all. So my character has some unpleasant characteristics, but they're great. They're a wonderful character to play.
Yeah, no, it sounds like fun to play. Did you enjoy the experience, Sinead?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was just kind of beyond my wildest dreams to be able to go up to the islands, where I've been going my whole life, where my family are from, and actually work there and film there and spend that much time there as well. And Avansaya in Harris, where we filmed it, is just so stunning. And we were staying in this castle, and it was just a really kind of magical experience from start to finish. And just connecting with the other cast members and really getting into thinking about and discussing everything around Gaelic, everything that I said, and just being in it for that long. It was just a really, really wonderful experience, and it was so much fun. And Tom made it a lot of fun. So it was great. It was great.
Yeah, well, let's hope it is the start of a new genre of Gaelic noir. Really looking forward to seeing it. So the first episode is on BBC Alpa. That's the 14th of January. That's next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. But it will, of course, be available on BBC iPlayer, which is how a lot of people access their shows now, and on BBC 4. And it's a 4-part series. I'm going to try it again on Chilan. You say it, Sinead, because you'll say it better than me.
And Chilan. You were perfect.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to speak to both of you, Tom and Sinead.
Since we've started on this show, we've become a big success. We've won awards on top the polls. You've said that we're the best. We don't want to argue because you lot pay our wages, so we'll agree and say that we're the best show on in ages. The Chris Moyle Show, the best show on in ages.
BBC Radio Scotland coming up this morning.
Help. 1, 2, 3.
Wait. What's the first line again?
Help.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2.
Help!
No, wait.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help!
Yeah, well, after Christmas, lots of us are dealing with, I don't know, presents that didn't arrive, presents that we didn't want, presents that haven't worked out the way that we hoped that they would. If you need a bit of help in handling all of that, then Martin James, our consumer expert, is here for the first consumer surgery of 2025. Give him a call. He'll help you sort things out. 08085 92 95 00 is the number. You can also leave a voice note there or a WhatsApp message. And we are going to be meeting the Glasgow couple trying to make a difference to loneliness. That's after 10.
I've been in church for a long time. People think that worship is a slow song. Jump out the box, that's in your head. Just get on the feet, just dance.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Jesus is Lord. You better know it. I can dance, I can dance, I can dance with Him all night.
Church for a long time, people think the worship is a song. Jump out the box, that's in your head.
around. Hold my hand, got my feet. Lord, you dance better than me. I'll tell people who you are. I am dancing with the star. Take it fast, slow. Hey, all night, all night, I can dance. All night, hey, I see you dancing up there. All night, I can dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can dance with Jesus. All night, yeah, all night. I know you hear the time.
All night, I can dance with Jesus. All night, I can dance with Jesus.
Looks like there's a party up there. Anybody glad that you can dance with Jesus? Hey, all night, I can dance. Woo. All night, all night, all night, I can dance.
I've been in church for a long time. People think that worship is a slow song. Chill out the box that's in your head. Just chill out the box that's in your head. Just dance. Just dance. Just dance. Just dance. Just dance. Just dance. All night. 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 Just dance. All night.
Somebody help me dance, y'all. There's a praise in the room. I don't know about you. Loosen them knees up and come on in here. Yeah, yeah. Woo, I see you, I see you, I see you. Yeah, 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 yeah. You got something to dance about. Hey, 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 Lord, I worship you.
You are listening to Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Broadcasting across the United Kingdom and the world.
Well, folks, as you've been enjoying a really nice, peaceful 2025 so far, I'm about to change all of that. She is back. It is time for our Humdrum Conundrum, the first one of 2025, with our judgmental friend, Karen McKenzie. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
What? You're looking rather, well, I was going to say you're looking strange, which is a bit of a quick insult, but you were sort of frozen in time there. I thought you were playing statues.
No.
Oh, was that you thinking?
No. That was me thinking.
Oh, that was you thinking. I must have to recognise that. I don't see that very often.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Granted.
Yes.
Yeah. It's too late to say Happy New Year, isn't it?
Well,
I think it is.
Yes. Okay. Well, she's decreed that, so that's lovely. It is now too late. It is officially, we are into the next year. Are you well, though?
Yeah. Very well indeed. Very well indeed.
I'm very excited about today, I have to say. And you're clearly nervous about it.
Slightly. Slightly. I thought it was a good idea at the time. And then I've never won an argument with this one ever. So, yeah. Well, I'm regretting it, I think.
We have been doing our Humdrum Conundrum for quite a long time. And, you know, these are just the sort of daily irritations that grind your gears and all these things. And we talk about them and we have a bit of a giggle. And I sometimes joke that, oh, this is actually Karen. But this time, folks, this is actually straight from Karen's real playbook, her real life. She is joined in the studio this morning by journalist and her friend, at least for the next minutes, Claire English. Welcome, Claire.
Thank you very much, Kay. This is very weird, isn't it? And it's great that Karen and I are wearing matching brown outfits.
Yes, you have come in uniform,
We did.
which is interesting. I mean, I was thinking, you walked in, I thought, oh, what, we playing Squid Game? Or what's happening here?
Could be bloodier than that, Kay. Yeah.
So, a little thing has come up in your friendship that is a bit of a wriggle and a niggle, and you've decided to air it here on national radio and thrash it out together.
Yeah, well, Claire's not budging, so I thought I would get...
You're not budging.
I thought I'd get the opinion of the Radio Scotland audience to see what they think.
Okay, so you're both being quite... Who's the more intransigent of the two of you, Claire?
She is.
Is she?
She's appalling.
What do you mean intransigent? What does that mean? Does that mean like
just
stuck
in your ways, won't move?
Yeah.
Okay, right, okay. I can see how this is going to play out. Shall we hear the humdrum conundrum?
Yes.
Karen and Claire's conundrum, we will call it this morning.
Yes.
And then you two can thrash it out. And then, of course, our audience is always the jury. So 80295, we want your thoughts. This is important, people. Usually we just chat, but this is actually going to mean something. Whether or not these two, you know, sort of dance off into the sunset like Ernie and Eric, Morecambe and Wise, or whether or not it's fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here it is.
My friend and I do a lot of day trips up and down the country. We're both over 60 and entitled to a free bus pass, which I have. But my mate has decided she doesn't want one. Well, as a thrifty Scot, I prefer to use the bus service over the train and have gone with her wishes of using the train so far. She says the bus makes her ill and the train is the only way for her to travel. I think she's just being snobbish about using a bus, which is her choice, but for me, travelling by train is an expense I'd rather not incur. I don't understand why we can't just take it in turns. Am I being unreasonable for refusing to take the train with my friend when I could use my free bus pass? I think it's an open and shut case.
I know, and well, just for added information, that piece of music we set that to is called Les Voyages de l'Amour.
Oh mon Dieu. I thought it was the Traitors, actually.
Caitlin's so clever.
So, Karen, you've just accused your friend Claire of being snobby.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, I think that's what it comes down to. She doesn't want to travel on public transport. Now, I know trains are obviously public transport. She doesn't enjoy a bus. She won't go on the bus. She thinks they're... Actually, well, I'll let Claire say what she thinks of the buses. When was the last time you were on a bus, Claire?
Before Christmas, got one at the bottom of the road.
Is that because a train wasn't available?
No, I was in a hurry. And it takes me 20 minutes to walk to the train. So there's effort goes into walking to the train, which is good as well, because I get some exercise in there. But if you want to know the reason I don't like buses...
No, I've not started. I've not
you've
finished
not
it.
started?
Yeah,
I've not started? Okay,
I think we've been given this wonderful opportunity
Lovely.
Of a free bus pass when you're over 6. Have you even applied for yours?
No, but husband has, and he nags about it to me. But I mean, the thing is, I'm just like, I don't use the bus very often. So I'll just do tap and go, whatever.
Right, so we've been given this. It's when we're travelling to see our communal friend...
communal friend?
Mutual, I think.
Eddie Mair's not communal. There's nothing communal about or common about him. What do you mean?
Mutual friend. What? It's been done to you.
It's a swimming pool.
I'm going to call him our communal friend from now on. Oh, my God.
And... well, it's expensive, the train.
Yeah, but I've got...
Right, that's it.
Yeah, but
So
I've got
we
a
could
ticket.
save that
I've got
money.
my... Well, hold on, I've got my rail
hold
card.
on a minute.
So have you.
So we could actually...
So have you.
Yeah, but I've got a free bus pass. And we could save that money and use it towards our lunch or cocktails.
So it's
or
all about money for you then?
It sort of is.
It's all about money.
Basically,
It's all about money.
It is.
Right,
She's
okay.
very frugal.
So, well, is that not quite reasonable, Claire, that she wants to save money?
Karen's a pensioner.
Yeah.
So are you.
I know. It is about money, but in saying that, right, can I say my bit now?
Yes.
The reason I don't like buses goes back a long way. I am not a good traveller. Even in cars, I get a bit car sick, motion
I'll give you
sick.
that.
Mum and Dad used to smoke like beagles in the car. That wasn't good. Always used to feel sick, jolting motions in cars. So buses to me were like the same thing, but with more people in them. And I used to go to
Nobody
school.
smokes in the
well,
bus.
no, not when you're a kid as well. When I was getting the school bus, and I used to get it from the Burbs out to Kirkintilloch.
The Burbs.
It was a sort of 40 minutes of hell in a nasty, chuggy diesel wagon that went through all the back roads.
Right, things have changed, Claire.
No. The point is, Karen, the reason I feel so bad about it is because I literally feel sick. It's the motion, it's the jolting, it's the association.
Deep-seated trauma.
It's trauma. It's PTSD.
PTSD.
I'm
Yes.
not being funny. I literally it
No,
just
you're
makes
not
me feel
funny.
sick thinking about it.
You could get those little wristbands.
So
for
could you be a
travelling.
little bit more
Tried them.
tolerant, Karen?
Karen's
Because
not tolerant.
I've gone so far with Claire's wishes.
I know, but you've accused Claire of being snobby, which
I'm not
is just
snobby.
and actually it's been quite a touching moment here.
Yeah.
As Claire's explained the deep-seated trauma that she's experienced since childhood about bus travel and how that affects her and how she feels really quite ill. So in
That's
that,
her
now,
reason for the radio.
no, but
She'd say a different thing.
I can't believe it.
but given that she's opened her heart to you, Karen, I
That
think
stony
I
heart.
would say, is it not time for you to think, well, this is a little gesture that I can make to my dear friend as we go and visit our other communal friend, that rather than her approach the day with a feeling of trepidation and dread and
Yes.
dis-ease, that I will make this tiny gesture of joining her on the train, on which you will get a concession anyway because you're
Yes.
an old biddy.
Only within the Strathclyde region. You don't get it
Are
once
you
you're
that
out.
tight?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
thrifty.
See, I'll rest my case. QED. Leaving now.
No. I just think.
Well, could you not agree to buy the coffee?
I absolutely could, but she's the most stubborn old bat in the world, as you know, and you can't get her to flipping back down. If I try to give Karen Mackenzie money, this goes back centuries. Karen, I'll pay for this. No. You'll not thank you for that. I'm paying for it, so you can't win.
But you would be happy to buy the coffees?
I would be more than happy to buy the pints of wine that we get through with our communal friends. I would be more than happy.
Well, there you go, Karen. Because if it's all about money for you...
No, I'm not.
And we can take away the money issue because Claire's very generously offered to pay for the
for the train
treats.
fare.
For the treats.
But that doesn't stop. I'm still going to
Probably
pay
be more
for the
than
train,
the-
isn't
Karen,
it?
it's gonna
Listen,
cost
I'm
more
quite
than the
happy,
train
Claire.
fare.
If you are really, because I have gone on the train with you so far, right? And now I think, come on.
Do you want to travel separately?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, you could sit at the front of the bus where I think it's easier, and I could sit at the back of the bus, or we could both sit at the front of the bus. And if it came to it, then you could go by train, and I'll just go by bus. Because
Do you know, I'm going to tell you something. I have been on a bus that wasn't too bad, and it was the bus, other buses are available, that takes you to the airport in Edinburgh. However, that bus is incredibly well air-conditioned.
I like that bus.
Sparse in the morning, because I'm usually getting up very early if I take that bus. And it's a straight road.
Well, let's just meet our communal friend there
It's
then.
a coach.
It's a
Coaches are
coach.
different. So
let's just all meet at the airport.
So would you be quite happy that you two were going on a day out, a lovely jolly, to meet your communal friend, and that you would travel separately? Would that?
Yeah,
suit
because
you,
I think
Karen?
we've got enough hours together.
So you're that stubborn.
You are that stubborn. You go to the grave.
I think you're
literally.
hearing Claire already, and you know that probably it's limited, the time that you could put up with her. So I think the time that we have together is probably about 4 or 5 hours, and that's probably enough.
Right. Well, in my short career as a conflict resolution mediator, I give up, I resign. Clearly I failed. There's nothing I can do.
Do you not think it's a bit unreasonable that I have to pay out money all the time?
Well, yeah, well, no, because Claire has offered to
commensurately-
buy
Yeah,
the
coffee.
coffees.
Big deal.
And the wine, and she's agreed to make up the financial difference if you would only come with her on her favoured mode of travel because she has a trauma.
Literally
if
trauma.
she is on your favoured mode of travel. So I would have thought that was quite a reasonable thing, unless you're going to dig your heels in and
Trauma.
say it's the bus.
Kate, she wanted to call me a snob. She said, you're a West End wedding. You know, that was Barry Stewart out there when I came in. She called me a West End wedding. I went, I'm not good.
You are a snob, Claire, it has to be said.
That's got nothing to do with me vomiting on a bus.
Okay, well, if why don't you come in the bus
I'm not a
once,
snob.
and if I witness you being ill,
Oh,
then
great!
I'll go with you the next
Empirical
time.
evidence. I'm going to vom in front of you. Wow.
Well, I'm going to have to put this out to our listeners, out to the jury. Is Karen being unreasonable by
Yes.
refusing to join Claire on the train, which she prefers because she suffers trauma when she is on the bus?
I love the way you're saying that. You look at, she suffers trauma.
You've got to pick it up. We're on the
Okay.
radio. 80295. I mean, if we can't do that, they're going to have to either travel separately, or as I think Karen was slightly suggesting, she would take Claire hostage and put her on the bus. That seems to
beside the
be another
driver.
option that's circulating in Karen's mind.
I think it's fair enough. I think I'm being quite reasonable.
Yes, okay. Well, let the
But of
audience.
different levels of income, I have to look after myself. I've got...
She's offered to pay the coffee. 08085 92 95. All the numbers 80295. Get the music on. I've had enough.
Thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Question is why I do the things I do. Answer I may never find, but I'll always choose you. Wanna give up on you, but damn, I know I can't. I put the blame on me for giving you chance after chance. I love what you but can't stand, and I try to be strong, but how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope your words ain't lying, 'cause only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Oh yeah. Only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah, yeah. It's my mind and my soul. Rest of your pride. Nigga, check your ego. 'Cause I left mine at the door just because I let it slide. Drowning all of my emotions, I let you slide in this ocean. I'm in love with you, I can't stand, and I try to be strong, but how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope your words ain't lying, 'cause no, I can't take it no more. I'm about to walk out the door. Is the heart of a woman.
To be honest, I am still reeling from that conversation with Karen McKenzie and Claire in English. She is just not for budging. She's like one of those people that if it is free, I am going to have it, and I don't care whether I need it, I want it, or anything else. I am going to have it. I'm going to eat that 6-piece of tablet that's sitting on the side of my coffee cup because I got it for free. Claire English has offered to pay for the coffees and the teas and the wines and whatever. What are we going to do with her? I don't know. Anyway, you tell us what you think. I have to say, she's getting a lot of support coming in with people saying, oh, the bus is free, no contest. And in St Andrews, you're right, Karen. I know people like that. I love travel by both, but the bus is free, no contest. Is she being unreasonable by insisting that her friend joins her on the bus, even although it makes her friend sick? Oh, no, I was going to say I've got the phone number, not the phone number, 80295. You can text us. Save the phone number for calling Martin James, our consumer expert, 08085 92 95 00. He is taking calls after 11 o'clock this morning. Any situations that you have, and over Christmas we've all got things that have happened, as I say, presents that either you didn't want, you're trying to take back, or maybe you're trying to exchange, or they haven't lived up to your promise, whatever it is, or they haven't arrived at all, or anything else at all. If you feel you've been ripped off, call Martin. You can text him to 80295. Martin, morning to you, how are you?
Good morning, Kay. It is lovely to be back.
Oh, Happy New Year to you. Karen says it's too late to say that, but I'm making an exception in your case, Martin. What am I going to do with her, Martin?
Well, I've stumbled right into a hornet's nest on this one, haven't I?
No.
I would say, in this particular, I have to say, I do actually agree with Karen. I quite like a bus trip. But then, using my manipulative ways, I will point out there are lots and lots of places, as you know, in Scotland that simply aren't accessible by the train, which means you've got to get a bus or you've got to get the car. So how do you get around that one? Book a nice meal and say that you want to have some wine and therefore you can't drive. And that leaves her no choice. She's got to get on. She's got to get on the bus one way or another. But I compromise as well.
It makes her sick. It makes her sick, Martin.
I've popped onto the NHS website and apparently there are now patches that are available for adults that are very effective.
Oh, okay, right, okay. We'll take that on board. You're great at finding ways around things. You really are. You should be a psychiatrist. Anyway, so, like I say, Christmas. What kind of things are people throwing up after Christmas? I would imagine you're very busy.
Well, needless to say, it's straight back into it. And, I'm getting everything, obviously lots and lots of things about the snow and cold weather and energy and switching over. But of course, I'm getting some fun stuff as well. People who aren't exactly thrilled with the Christmas presents, arguments with shops, people struggling to return things to very big online stores. You know the ones.
Yeah.
So lots of things like that as well.
It's difficult. I mean, if you get a gift that you don't want because you've got to say, that's lovely. Do you have the receipt?
Yeah, it's really awkward, isn't it? I mean, it is as I've said to people before Christmas, going through that wrapping paper and making sure you're keeping a crafty eye out for that gift receipt is absolutely vital. But it is really challenging, isn't it? If you do get something that you're not overly enamoured with. But there are ways, you can return things if you're crafty.
Do you absolutely need the receipt, though?
If you want the money or the store credit personally, then yes, generally, you do need the receipt. You can kind of contact some companies. Never walk into a store and hope that you're going to be able to negotiate it, because as many of the callers to our show over the last year, to the clinic rather, have said, it's simply it's too difficult for members of staff. They don't have the authority to do that. But if you can't, if you throw yourself at the mercy of the store and email their customer service department, you can sometimes get through it. But there is a third way. If you don't want to tell a little white lie, and by the way, I wrote an article about this which contains some little white lies, which I don't approve of, but you can find it.
That's a little white lie to start off with.
Might be. You can type my name in returns and you'll find the article. It's in the Scotsman. Obviously, I don't approve of such things that you said lying. But the other alternative, the third way, is the act of selling the gift on, because unbelievably, I'm always astounded by the things that people will actually buy. There are loads of ways you can sell things online. It's really, really easy now. It's very straightforward.
Is it? Because I often think about it and I think, oh God, I can't be bothered taking a picture and uploading it and posting it and stuff. But is it easy enough?
Yeah, it really is. Now, like UK, I'm not going to say I'm lazy, because I'm lazy. I can't speak for you, but I can't be bothered a lot of the time. But I had to do a bit of research into a lot of these resale sites, and there are specific ones. There are ones for electronics, there's ones for second-hand clothes, new clothes. It actually is really easy. You can set up an account in less than 10 minutes, and you can post things in less than 5. The trick, though, is to make sure that you read everything about posting and the returns policy, because those are where people kind of come a cropper. If they don't send things by the official trackable postage method, then that's when disputes can arise. Right. But it's actually really, really easy. You can do it all on your phone.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth considering, because I suppose if you've got a gift and let's say, I don't know, it's a sweater, so you haven't worn it, it's probably got the label on it, but it is just not for you. So if you get the right resale site, the chances are that you'll get a reasonable price for it, and it's better that than it's sitting in a cupboard, isn't it? If you don't want to say, have you got the receipt? Anyway, I'm sure we'll get lots of questions around that, but it's not just about Christmas. Martin's here to answer any questions at all. I mean, as I always say, if you've paid good money and you feel you've got a bad deal, then call Martin. 08085 92 95 00 is the number. The lines are open now. You can leave a voice note on there or a WhatsApp message, or you can text 80295. Do it quick. Martin's going to be back in about 15 minutes time to answer your calls. Martin, you're leaving me on my own to sort out Karen. Thank you very much for that, but I will speak to you after 11.
With standard driver side airbags, both the 92 Honda Civic and the 92 Honda Accord provide a certain peace of mind while driving. With the same peace of mind when buying a new car, come to Kendall Honda. With our low-key approach, quality service after the sale, and available cellular phones, you'll find that buying a new Honda can be as enjoyable as driving one. Kendall Honda, across the Ferry Street Bridge, Eugene.
Oh, they tell me
They have the worst record in the league. They never win on the road. The quarterback is a rookie. 9 of their players are on injured reserve. And you just made $20 on them. Over 100 years ago, visitors to Oregon would often return home with a very special beer.
It's Henry's.
No, thank you.
A beer that even today, some parts of the country have yet to discover.
Welcome to the Oregon Express.
But Westerners always were slightly ahead of the times.
Emergency exits are located. 2 to the front, 2 to the sides, and 2 to the back. Now, in the unlikely event of a water landing, your seat cushion will act as a flotation device.
If you've been waiting for the best prices on the best names in home electronics, don't miss the fall sale at Fred Meyer. You'll find savings on the Panasonic 10-channel cordless phone and the Panasonic AM/FM portable stereo with dual cassette. Your choice, $89.99. Or get the Panasonic VHS-C camcorder, now just $789. And don't forget the videotape. The Scotch T123 pack is $797. The Fall Home Electronics Sale. The right brands at unbeatable prices. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Here we go with more Epic Radio.
Now, according to the World Health Organization, loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking is. And government research tells us that it affects close to 1 million adults in Scotland. Clinical psychologist Dr. Emma Hepburn says it's the legacy of COVID when social isolation was enforced. But one Glasgow couple are determined to try and turn the tide on that. We've got one half of that couple, Jack Glass, in the studio with me. Morning, Jack.
Morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Not at all. Co-founder of Talking is Mental, and Emma's out there somewhere in the world. Good morning, Emma.
Good morning.
Good morning. I mean, loneliness has always been with us and been an issue, but do you feel really that COVID has changed things significantly, Emma?
I certainly think it's been a factor. You know, people had to stop their social activities during COVID. They had no choice. And for some people, they were straight back into it. But for other people, it was a lot harder. Maybe they felt more anxious about going back into it. Maybe they still had ongoing health concerns or still have ongoing health concerns that put them more at risk, and it's more difficult. And certainly for some older people, maybe there have been changes in their life that made it more difficult for them to go back into it.
It also changed our habits to a certain extent, didn't it? I mean, you always say it takes, I don't know, however long, 3 weeks to change a habit. We spent so much longer on screens, we weren't seeing people, we were working from home, studying from home, etc. And that became a bit of a norm, which
absolutely
lent itself to isolation, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's harder to kind of start something new again rather than kind of the thing you're continuously doing.
And in terms of this comment from the World Health Organization, loneliness as bad for your health as smoking, would you agree?
Well, certainly the research shows it is really detrimental to your well-being, your mental health and your physical health. We know that the converse, so social interaction, is the most positive thing for your well-being, mental health and longevity. And so the reverse, loneliness, is detrimental for your physical and mental health, quality of life and longevity. And there's lots of research to back that up.
Well, Jack, you've decided to take action along with your partner. What sparked you in doing that?
Oh, I think it was a mixture of things, really. I think initially personal experiences that myself and the co-founder, my partner Billy, had, with loneliness and isolation and, mental health issues. But then, also just that it is very, very evident at the moment that there is a loneliness epidemic going on, nationwide, but in particular in Glasgow. And obviously you were just talking about there about some of the stats, and there are a lot of studies and stats that are, pointing towards that there is a loneliness epidemic happening. And, myself and my partner, we just wanted to try and do something to help connect people, give people safe, inclusive and fun spaces to come and to make new friends, and to also have something to do during the week to break up the week, because it's a really, really important thing. The week can seem really, really long if you don't have, something that you're looking forward to, and particularly as well if you're not seeing people. Like, a sense of community is so important to your well-being.
As Emma said, yeah.
And so that's why we just thought we wanted to create some activity groups that were, again, really accessible, that were free or really low cost, that could, again, connect people, bring them together, and also help to encourage dialogue around the effects of loneliness and isolation on people, because I think sometimes it can be, particularly, I think at this age, I'm 30, and that age group, 25 to 40, the study has shown that is a really prime age for people to be affected by isolation and loneliness. And an element of that can be that there is perhaps, unfortunately, like a feeling of maybe embarrassment behind that,
Yeah, and it's interesting that you're looking at that group, because, if we talk about loneliness, if we're having discussions on radio or television or whatever, we often immediately go to older people, elderly people even. But the fact that you're saying that you're looking at a much younger demographic, and that kind of stigmatization. I mean, do you use the lonely word, or do you try and avoid it? Because nobody really wants to associate themselves with it, do they?
It's a really good point. I think we're trying to ensure that in the conversation we are talking about loneliness and isolation, and also, making it. We don't want it, making it normalised. That sounds like the wrong thing to say, but more in a sense of that there are lots of people that feel the same way as you. If you are
trying to destigmatise.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And because I know that when I was dealing with it, in particular during COVID, I was kind of living by myself, and a lot of my really close friends didn't live nearby me, and loneliness and isolation, the effects it had on me, not just mentally but physically as well. It was like, it did feel like I just had a constant, like I was constantly ill, and the motivation was just not there. And and I know that from speaking to a lot of our friends as well, not even just looking at the stats, speaking to our friends who are similar ages, they're all saying, I feel the same way. And, with social media as well, there's a lot of, people on social media, and you can see, you look at a lot of your friends, and they've got, they're getting married, and they've, got a house, and they've got all this, and it can then also again make you feel like, oh, I'm falling behind and I don't really have friends.
Yeah, and that's the irony, Emma, to bring you in, and I'm having to watch the clock here. I mean, of course, social media, or, the internet, can be fabulous in terms of making social contacts. But equally, as Jack says, it can also hold up a distorted mirror to your life, that other people are having a fab time and you're not.
Absolutely. I mean, social media is great for creating community in lots of spaces, particularly people who maybe haven't had community in their lives. But also, you've got these multiple points of comparison, which are hugely unrealistic. It's people's highlight reels that you're comparing your life to, and you can make that negative comparison about yourself.
Yeah. Well, listen, Jack, the name of your, what would you call it, an organisation or your initiative?
Yes, initiative, yes.
Initiative,
yes.
Talking is Mental. So tell us what you're offering.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we have a variety of groups running. So we have a walking group, which is free. That's meeting every Sunday at different easily accessible locations all around Glasgow. We've done Kelvin Grove Park, Alexandra Park. We're doing Pollock Park, hoping to see some Highland cows this Sunday, which was really nice. We meet between 11 and 11:30. We also have a football group, so a five-a-side football group that runs every Thursday at 6:30 at Power League, and that's again a really fun social game. It's not competitive. It's open to all levels, all abilities, all ages. And then we've announced this week that we're starting a theatre building group, which we're really excited about, which is kind of focused around performance and drama, and also just like confidence building as well. And then we've kind of announced that's starting on the Monday the 27th of January, and that's also free. And then we are about to start up a book club as well. We're just finalising the details, but we're going to be...
You're on a roll. You're on a roll. It's so lovely to hear you just discussing all these kind of social activities, bringing people together. Jack, thank you very much. Co-founder of Talking is Mental, and Dr. Emma Hepburn, clinical psychologist, thank you as well. I'm a bit nervous of them coming back in, quite frankly. Thank goodness for Martin James.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help.
Somebody to help you sort out some problems with something that you paid for, whether it's a service or a product. It might be something to do with your car, it might be something to do with your energy bills, it might be something to do with a present at Christmas time that's either not arrived or something's gone wrong, and you're just at your wit's end. Then call Martin. 08085 92 95 00. He is brilliant at plotting a really sensible, smart way out of these situations that drive us bananas. You can also text him on 80295. We'll also be discussing why we're seeing so many silver splitters.
Shabba. Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
When I was a child, running in the night, I was afraid of what might be. Hiding in the dark and hiding on the streets for none of what was following me. The hounds of the love are calling. I've always been a coward. And I don't know what's good for me. Well, here I go. It's coming at me through the tree. Help me, someone, help me, please. Take your shoes off, and I will throw them in the lake. And I will be 2 steps on the water. I found a box caught by dogs. He let take in my hands. His little heart beats so fast that I am ashamed to be running away. Nothing real, I just can't deal with this. I feel ashamed to be there. Amongst your hounds of loving. I feel your arms surrounding me. I've always been a coward. And I don't know what's good for me. But here I go. Don't let me go. Hold me down. It's coming at me through the tree. Help me, someone, help me, please. Take my shoes off, and I will throw them in the lake. And I will be 2 steps on the water. Do you know what I need? Do you know what I need? I need a oh. And take my shoes off, and I will throw them in the lake. And I will be 2 steps on the water. I don't know what's good for me. I don't know what's good for me. And do you know what I need? Do you know what I need? I need a
Okay, I'm ready. I've girded my loins. I think I'm ready. But just while security separate Karen McKenzie and Claire English, let me remind you that Martin James is here for the Consumer Surgery. He is here to help you out with any questions that you have about something that you have bought, whether it's a service or a product, and it has gone wrong. You've paid good money and you've got a bad deal. Not acceptable. Let Martin help you sort it out. 08085 92 95 00. He's sitting there waiting for your calls. You can also leave a voice note or a WhatsApp message, and you can text him on 80295. I've delayed it just about as long as I possibly can. So all rise. Yes, the Court of Karen is back in session as we hear your verdict on this week's conundrum. Karen is back with her friend Claire English, so I mean, at least that's a plus.
Well, I
Still talking,
just, yeah.
Did you not go upstairs to the canteen, have a wee cup of tea and sort it out amicably?
Oh, we're never going to sort it out.
No,
it's not happening, is it?
No, and that would mean paying for the coffee or the tea at the
yeah.
canteen, whereas you can get. I've got my tea bags that I bring in with me.
Really?
Yeah, my Earl Grey tea bags. No, I don't Earl Grey.
So you get free hot water and you bring your own tea bags?
That's indeed,
God bless. And this, ladies and gentlemen, it's what
I think we should be setting up a GoFundMe page. I mean, things are really, really tight. OK, well, let's remind ourselves of the conundrum. Set, of course, let me remind you to Les Voyages de l'Amour.
Lovely. My friend and I do a lot of day trips up and down the country. We're both over 60 and entitled to a free bus pass, which I have. But my mate has decided she doesn't want one. Well, as a thrifty Scot, I prefer to use the bus service over the train and have gone with her wishes of using the train so far. She says the bus makes her ill and the train is the only way for her to travel. I think she's just being snobbish about using a bus, which is her choice, but for me, travelling by train is an expense I'd rather not incur. I don't understand why we can't just take it in turns. Am I being unreasonable for refusing to take the train with my friend when I could use my free bus pass? Well, you know, there are people out there that agree with me, Kay.
Yes, there are. We have had an enormous response to this. There are also people who agree with Claire. There are also people who are trying to be helpful and actually try and sort things out. But, you know, I'm listening to that again, and I think it rests on the fact of whether or not Claire is a liar or not.
Yes. What is my motivation for saying I want it on a bus?
How much is she going to admit on air?
No,
a bit like yourself,
I'm
Kay.
perfectly happy to admit a lot of failings, but honestly, it's the main thing is the vomiting.
You're going to admit your failings.
Well, would you?
No, but I mean, come on then, Claire. I'm going to ask you, are you just being snobby about bus
to a degree?
No, I've got to say, I also don't like being in crowded places with people budging up against me. So that's probably got part to do with
you get that in the train as well, though.
Not as much. No, you got more space in the train. I don't know. I just feel more comfortable physically, i.e. not vomiting and not getting jostled about so much on a train.
Right.
And it's quicker. It's just, I don't know, it just feels easier.
Yeah, well, Karen...
So it's not unpleasant on a bus at all for you in terms of being with the public?
Well, I'm with you. You are the public.
Maybe oh, I hope not. Let's not rehearse this again, because I think we've been through it. Let's go to the verdict, because the listeners have been getting in touch in their droves. And Karen, as you say, we have got people agreeing with you, so I'll give you your moment of glory, and let's have them.
You have more than me.
I'm
I think
going
you've
to
got more.
Shut up. Anna St Andrews, you're right, Karen. I know people like that. I love travel by both, but the bus is free, no contest.
People like that. That's you, Claire.
That's me. That's me. Kay, might be people like you as well.
So it's saying, I really stand in the middle of the humdrum. I live in Dunbar, so you can use the train, which is sometimes unreliable, so I always use the bus. I should point out, though, that the train costs over 10 quid return. I do believe in some areas of Scotland, train travel for seniors is vastly reduced, subsidised. I really don't know what I would do without my bus pass.
Yeah, I mean, what would you do, Claire, if you were going somewhere to meet your communal friend that wasn't served by a rail route?
Drive.
You would try, so the bus is avoided at all costs.
It's too painful. It's just, I can actually feel myself gagging just thinking about being on a bus on a windy road.
Have you got a copy of these texts as well?
Yeah.
Would you like to read some that are in your favour then, Claire?
Here we go. This is... Sorry, Karen, I'm the one who gets sick and you really wouldn't like a day out with me on the bus. No cocktails and food either. Pushing 70 now, never growing out of travel sickness. Well, that is me.
I think that is you.
In a nutshell. It's me. I actually
70.
sent that in.
Yep.
Thank you, Anon. Also, Karen and Claire, handbags at dawn, each make their own weight. Maybe that's the way ahead, Karen.
Yep.
One more, Ronan Fortrose. Karen, I'm disappointed, not only for you considering your friend's travel sickness dilemma, but also because I'm not on your side for the first court of Karen in 2025.
Rona,
love you. Love you. Checks in the post.
What else have we